Good job! After reviewing a bunch of third-party games in the last few months, I thought it might be fun to review a Nintendo-made game. And I looked for the last game they released, and I decided to review it. I remember seeing this on a mini-direct, and I was intrigued. The art style and the openness of how you accomplish goals look fun. And telling you this right now, both of those things really are. However, the game has some serious pacing problems with boring and repetitive objectives. Like I mentioned though, I really liked the art style they had. It had a fun feel to it, and it was amusing to see all the cutscenes. And even though the game is wordless, much like the earlier LEGO games, they did a great job of pantomiming everything they needed to say in order to keep you understanding the plot. The story is about the son of an owner of the company, who's been put to work in his very oddly designed building. I say that because the layout of the floors often make no sense. Why are the loading docks in the mailroom on the second floor? And why is there a pool one floor above? They do show that the loading docks will go down, so maybe that takes up the basement as well. But who designs a lazy river and a bunch of pools in an office building? You go from floor to floor with 3 rooms to go into, until you can go into a 4th one that's locked off until you finish the other 3. You could do the 3 in any order you want. The tasks that you often have to do were just get X number of things to a place. It was very generic and often tedious. Worse yet, a few of these objectives, finding them all was even worse. I spent over 10 minutes looking for a little bit of goo that I needed to clean up. Or this part where I had to water every flower. It was very easy to miss one flower, as it didn't really look that much different at the time. The fact that they really don't have any wiggle room in what you needed to do was extremely frustrating. And this was the point I almost quit the game. I kept going because I enjoyed the way that you could destroy anything you want in order to accomplish your goals, and you could accomplish your goals any way you wanted. If you wanted to be careful and be courteous to other people around you, for the most part you could. Or if you wanted to do it quickly by breaking down a wall or scooping people up, you could do as much damage as you needed in order to get the job done. I did like all the crazy ways they use the characters, and the things they can interact with. Riding a hose in the air or being flung around by a goo vacuum was very enjoyable. The controls were too stiff. It really didn't feel like I had control over a lot of things. Even worse was the camera, as it was locked in place and often would block the places you needed to see. They would give you a score on time, the money that you lost on destruction, and the amount of items destroyed. They would give you a grade, and the lower the number is, the better that your grade would be. They would give you the best grade of the 3 categories. In each of the rooms, there are 4 pieces of clothing to find. So the game encourages exploration and replayability, and the levels at times were big enough so you might miss something on your first playthrough. Good Job is not a very accurate title. It really does nail the feel of a great game that people might want to play, but the controls, camera, and objectives were just too frustrating or dull to keep someone engaged. Now, this is a charming game though, with some repetitive gameplay. So this is a tough one. And I'm gonna say sale, but I'm talking way sale, like under $10. I like the overall idea, but the execution was lacking. If you like games where there's no clear objective on how you complete it, well, play Thief Simulator. That game is great, and it really is cheap right now. See my review of it for the problems with it though. But this game also has the same open-ended way of figuring out objectives. If you like those types of games, I would say wait for this to go on a big sale.